Welcome to Stoked, the podcast that helps adventure elopement photographers hit six figures and beyond in their businesses without hustling on social media. I'm your host, Megan McPhail, a former burnt-out emergency veterinarian that quit my hard-earned career to become an elopement photographer. Now I'm living a life I absolutely love, full of travel, adventure, and financial abundance, and I am hell-bent on helping you do the same. Are you ready to start booking out your calendar with dream couples in breathtaking locations and feeling genuinely stoked about your elopement photography business, life, and bank account? Then let's dive into this week's episode. Hey, it's your host, Megan McPhail, and today I have a super special guest. She is one of the members of my elopement photographer mastermind. Her name is Gina Mangiante. She is an elopement photographer based in California that serves the San Francisco Bay Area and Italy. And today we're going to pick her brain about these Italy elopements because she just got back from Italy and she photographed 3 epic elopements out there. So welcome to the podcast, Gina. I'm so excited that you're here.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. So before we get into Italy, how did you get into photography? Because you've been photographing for a while now, and you got into elopements kind of like in 2023-ish, 2022. But how did you get into photography in general?
I got into photography back in college. I had friends that had cameras and would let me just play around with them. And eventually I wanted to get my own camera. So I got one for Christmas in 2016. And I brought that with me all the time when I would hang out with my friends and I would take photos. And they were very encouraging, they were very kind. And looking back at them, they were not great photos, but their encouragement helped me to pursue that more. And one year, I think it was like 2018 or so, I have friends that are a couple and they wanted Christmas card photos. And we would just went to a park in San Jose and I took their photos. And as we're leaving the park, my friend Venmoed me $50. And that just completely changed my life
Yeah.
because I never considered getting paid to take photos, and so once that happened, I knew that that's what I wanted to pursue, and so I just slowly started, like, going in that direction.
I love that. I have a similar story. My friends back in the day when I lived in Florida got a new puppy and they paid me $50 to do like a little photo shoot with their puppy. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? You get to get paid for taking fun photos. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, what was the first elopement you ever photographed?
I think it was in December of 2020. I photographed this couple in Santa Cruz, and yeah, it was just them and me and the officiant, and they got married on the coast, and it was just such an amazing experience, and it was so fun. And yeah, I knew I wanted to do more of that. I just definitely didn't know how.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. So, and then you found me on an Instagram ad. And you joined the elopement photographer mastermind and you started booking elopements. And I want to share a huge win because last year, 2024, you made the most money you've ever made from photography, which was like $120,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing. That is huge. And I'm so proud of you for that. But I also want to talk about the fact that you just got home from photographing 3 amazing elopements in Italy, 2 in Positano and 1 in Florence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't see her right now, you guys, but she's smiling. So, you love Italy. Why do you love Italy so much?
I just have a deep connection to Italy. My family part Italian. We went to Italy once when I was a kid, and I just knew I would be going back one day. And thankfully, in the last few years, I've gotten to go a few times, and I just feel just so inspired by the people, the architecture, the nature. Just everything is just amazing there.
Yeah, and it's such a romantic place to elope
Yeah,
for
it's perfect
couples,
for
right?
elopements. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. So, how did you get these 3 Italy bookings? What did you do to get these?
So it started with a styled shoot I went to a couple years ago, and it was along the Amalfi Coast, mostly like Positano. And so there were a few like elopements, styled shoots, and then a couple like engagement type ones. And so I used those photos and just posted them all over Pinterest and Instagram and my website. And I made like an Italy specific pricing page and like a blog of how to elope in Italy. And yeah, I just kind of would talk about it every so often. And then the first couple I booked for Italy, they found me through Pinterest. And so that
Which is
was
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like the first time I ever booked anyone from Pinterest.
Yeah, and it's freaking Italy. How big of a package did they book with you?
So they booked my highest package, which was 12 hours and also includes like a 2-hour session, like day after, however they want to use it. And it was like amazing because on our call, I was talking to them about the 8-hour and 12-hour packages. And when I just explained the difference and the prices, I remember the groom, he was like, "Oh, we'll just do the 12 hours." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, I had to
That
play it
was
cool. I was
easy.
like, yeah.
And so what did you charge them?
A little over $10,000.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and then I immediately raised my prices for that because that's what I learned from the
Yeah, because
mastermind.
I taught you to. Every time you book a 12-hour package, you raise those prices. Yeah, because so many people think that they have to offer discounts or shoot for free and stuff like that, and, like, you did it the smart way where you didn't use somebody's elopements as your portfolio building moment. You went out to Italy, built your portfolio, took stunning photos, put them out into the world on Pinterest, Instagram, and Google, and then you booked this 12-hour package in Italy with like an amazing couple. And then you got two more bookings for while you were out there. So, how did you do that?
Yeah, that definitely worked out very nicely. I had a couple more well, I've had quite a few inquiries, but a couple of them were wanting to elope in Italy during the summer of 2025. And I told them, I'll be there in May. So if you want to book me while I'm there in May, I'll give you a discount. And both couples were like, okay, cool. And so they were flexible, which worked out in my favor. And that's why I knew it was like not a long shot to ask them if they're willing to do it in like May instead of June or something. And
Hmm.
so they both booked me. And at that point too, I had because I booked the 12-hour, I had raised my prices a little bit. And so both of those were $8,000 bookings.
Yeah. So, you like discounted a little bit because you were going to already be there, like as far as travel expenses, but they were still both $8,000 elopements. So, you're going to Italy for like over 26 grand. You spent what, a couple weeks there and made like $26,000.
Yeah,
So, was it worth it to go out to Italy and build your portfolio so that you could book these Italy elopements?
100%.
I love
Definitely an
it.
investment, but our ROI was great.
Yeah, I love it. So, when you joined the mastermind, you'd only done like 3-hour elopements. And like a lot of people, you were like, what the heck does a 8-hour, 12-hour elopement even look like? Like, how am I supposed to book these when you don't even have an idea of how to sell them or, how to explain to couples that this is the best thing for them? So, will you walk us through what you did with your 12-hour couple?
Yeah, with that couple, it started and honestly, I was a little stressed at first having 12 hours in Positano because just in that little town, there's, like, not much to do. So, I was like, "How are we gonna do 12 hours?" But it was a great day. So, it started with me meeting them at their hotel, and getting some photos of them getting ready, and then doing a first look, and then they said their vows on their terrace, which was really cool. They had, like, a view of Positano from their hotel.
Oh, so cool.
It was so nice. And then after that, the bride had told me that she wanted like a staircase moment with her dress. And so I had scouted like a few days before different places nearby. And so we went to this staircase that was just like up the road and we took some photos there so she could have that moment. But she didn't want to wear like it was a removable, like, train, so she didn't wanna wear it the whole day, so it worked out nicely that we went back to their hotel, she took that off, I bustled her dress, and then we just kind of walked around a little bit more. We went and got lunch together, and it was super nice again with a view of Positano. It was so pretty. And then we started to make our way down towards the water and the docks and stuff, and we just took photos around there. And I think at one point we went back to their hotel again because they like wanted a little break. And
Yeah.
it was nice having all this time that there was no stress to follow the itinerary exactly down to the minute or anything. We had time to just do whatever they wanted that day, and, like, if they wanted to go back to the hotel and, like, chill for a bit, we could, and it wasn't like, "We have to get here at this time for photos or lighting," or whatever. The only thing we had was the boat ride in the evening, but everything before that was just kind of whatever they wanted, and so, yeah, we, like, chill at the hotel, and then we walked back down again to the docks and did some more photos, and then we went on a boat ride along the coast, and beautiful, of course, and we
Mhm.
took photos on the boat, and then, when we got back to the Positano, we, again, just kinda walked around, did some more photos just in, like, the areas around there, like, the shops are and stuff, and then we, went to dinner together at really yummy restaurant, and yeah, that was pretty much the whole day. It doesn't seem like it's like when looking back, it's like I don't really know how that was 12 hours, but it was.
I love the way you're describing it because I think so many couples and photographers think that like it's got to be like go, go, go from like activity to activity. And having some like unplanned time is also great to just like do whatever kind of comes organically or yeah, take a break, get some food, get some gelato, whatever it is, like you don't have to cram these elopements full of stuff. My favorite elopements have always been the ones where we kind of like change up what we're doing just based on vibes because we have that time. So, what did your couple think of this whole experience?
Actually, I just got a review in today from them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, they had such a good time. Like, they're also just super fun and chill people, which is the type of people I love to work with. But I can read her review if you
Oh, yeah.
want.
Pick out a few sentences.
Yeah, she said she captured the day perfectly. I was worried it might be awkward since it was just the three of us, but she made sure that the day was about us and went along with all of our crazy antics. And yeah, and she was just saying just that they've gotten so many compliments about their photos and they can't get over how beautiful and perfect they are and can't recommend me enough.
Oh, I love that. Getting reviews like that is just like the best affirmation that you're doing the right thing, and that this couple is going to look back on this day forever and be like, remember when we were in Positano in our wedding clothes? And oh, were people like congratulating them all day too? I love that about elopements.
Yep, yeah, it always feels like you're with a celebrity when you're with
Hmm.
couples getting married because yeah, everyone's just, like, saying congrats or auguri, I think auguri, something like that is how they say in Italian. But yeah, it was cute, and then, like, they got some, like, free, like, champagne or, like, prosecco from different places, which was really sweet.
That's perfect. Oh, I love that. And then I'm assuming that the other two elopements were just as fun and laid back. And I know you came back and were just like, I want to shoot all these kinds of elopements all the time.
Yeah.
So we got to get you back to Italy. So the first couple found you on Pinterest, which is amazing because we all put a lot of work into Pinterest, and to see that actually pay off is always awesome. But how'd the other two couples find you?
One of them found me through Instagram, and then the other found me through Google. So it was really cool that they all found me from different avenues.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And that just goes to show how important it is to, have a marketing strategy where you touch on all those locations or all those marketing channels because, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like, me, I'm always talking about how amazing Google is.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that you got Pinterest and Instagram inquiries and bookings too just goes to show that it's still important to, not just put all of your eggs into Google's basket and still utilize everything at our fingertips because people are searching on multiple platforms and you just never know where they're going to find you. Awesome. So, before you joined us in the Elopement Photographer Mastermind, you were amazing at photography. Like, you truly are an artist. I just love your photos. Like, I know immediately it's you when I see them on Instagram.
Really?
I do, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, "This composition and editing is, like, perfect. It must be Gina's."
Thank you.
So, yeah, so I love your work, but you can't rely on being a good photographer to have a successful business, right? You had to learn that, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what were the most important things that you learned with us in the mastermind?
So many things. One of the things was pricing structure. That was a big thing, and, like, to get people to book 8-hour elopements and learning how to do that with, like, the pricing structure as well as copy on the website and, like, speaking to your ideal client. And then also just learning what an elopement longer than 3 hours could look like and what you can do in all that time. Yeah, and then also just all the back end stuff with running a business. So, like, having a CRM and sending contracts and emails and just how to do all the business stuff that isn't why I got into photography, obviously.
Yeah. The things you hopefully learn to love, but they don't come naturally to us artists.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then you were telling me that there was a book that I recommended that you read that really helped with some money mindset stuff. Do you wanna share that?
Yeah, when I first joined the mastermind, I remember seeing that you recommended You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Cicero. Yeah, I read that pretty soon after joining the mastermind, and it helped a lot with just, yeah, money mindset and trying to think of ways to make money. But it's just made me try to think, like, be more creative, and put myself out there more. It, like, was inspiring to do that. It didn't just feel like a chore. It was like it made you feel empowered. And then recently I reread it again, and yeah, it was just so good. It was very needed, and I definitely recommend reading it.
Yeah, me too. Anyone listening right now, if you haven't read that book, definitely read it. A lot of my mindset stuff, I feel like comes from that book and like it's changed my life, it's changed other people's lives. It is very empowering to think of money in a different way cuz like we all grow up with different kind of like money trauma, you know? Like money's this like it should just be this neutral thing, but it ends up being this very like emotion packed thing. Like it should just be this tool that we use, but yeah, it comes with so many emotions, shame, guilt, all kinds of stuff. And so kind of like working through those things is super important to like book a $10,000 Italy elopement,
Yeah.
right? You got to work through that money trauma.
Yeah. Definitely.
So what would you tell people? Like, because I hear from photographers all the time that they want to get into booking cool destinations like Italy or Iceland or other international places, Switzerland, Norway. Like, I get questions all the time on how to do it and should they offer their services for free and should they discount things and stuff like that. So, if you had to give those folks advice, what advice would you give them?
They've probably heard it before, but it was I think what definitely helped me was that styled shoot that I did in Italy. Even though I had been to Italy, like, recently before that, earlier that year, I didn't have examples of elopements. I had a few shoots, but not elopements, and I think it's harder for couples to trust you, that you know the area and know what you're doing unless they actually see an example of an elopement in the place they wanna elope. So having those photos of the styled shoot elopements from Italy definitely helped, and that's why I was able to, like, pin and post on Instagram and have, like, a blog and everything because I had those photos to show couples that I shoot there and I can shoot there. Yeah, I think that's usually the advice I hear from others too, and it's not always what I wanna hear, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it
Yep.
works. It is
Yeah.
unfortunately, it works, but, like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. People always want this like secret option that is going to make things quicker and cheaper, I think, and less work than like, don't I just need a hashtag strategy or can I just post, or do a giveaway or something? And it's like, no, those things don't work. But the
Yeah.
things that do work, they do require a little bit of front end investment and a little faith and the trusting of the process. But yeah, you obviously are a great example of doing it the right way, getting the photos, targeting a very specific location, and then using a marketing strategy with those photos to get yourself booked. And my pricing strategy and sales calls and stuff like that, that'll help too. So cool. Do you have any other destinations you're going to target, or do you just want to do Italy over and over and over again?
I wouldn't be mad about going to Italy over and over. I do think it would be really cool to do an elopement in Switzerland, like in the
Oh,
mountains
yeah.
there. I was just there after Italy just for fun, and it was so beautiful. It literally made me cry. So to shoot like a couple there would be so cool. And eventually I'd like to go to Iceland as well. It looks beautiful there.
Yeah, Iceland is amazing for elopements because you literally, I mean, you could spend days out there photographing people and like never get bored.
That's so cool.
So awesome. Cool. Well, what advice do you have just for elopement photographers or wannabe elopement photographers in general? Not even, folks that are just wanting to get started because you were there, you were in their shoes just a few years ago. And yeah, what advice do you have for them?
The first thing that comes to my mind is join the mastermind. Because I know, like, you were trying to get me to plug it, but, like, it changed my life and how I view elopements and how I am able to book elopements. I think I would definitely still be stuck doing 3-hour elopements at, like, $1,500 or something,
Hmm.
so being able to, like, make a living off of being with couples all day in, like, beautiful places in San Francisco or Italy is just amazing.
Yeah, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
The second best is me teaching you guys how to do it and then getting to live vicariously through you. And you're posting all these beautiful Italy and Switzerland photos all over your stories. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, Gina. Yeah, I saw all your Switzerland photos and I was like, whoa,
Probably.
like you can tell that it's literally like stunning backdrops. And like you could tell, like, you didn't go far. It was probably like you were just walking and taking photos, and it's like
Yeah.
stunning.
Mhm.
So cool. Well, I'm so happy you joined us on the podcast, Gina. Where can people find your work on the internet and on Instagram?
My Instagram is mangiante.photography, and my website is mangiantephotography.com. And to get people to remember how to spell my last name, it's Man Giant E.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming, Gina. It was
Thank
so
you.
nice talking with you.
You too.
And yeah, we will see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of Stoked. If you enjoyed the show and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend. If you're looking for more inspiring elopement photography content, check us out on Instagram at Megan McPhail. And if you'd like to hear more about my business coaching and how I can personally help you hit six figures as an elopement photographer, then check out my website at www.meganmcphail.com.